Hey guys, it's another great day on the Dane and Josh show. Dane sends his absolute love. He's filming nationals right now. He's actually in Iowa. We do a lot with all sports, and right now Dane's calling the tournament. But wishing the best of luck. Wishes he could have made this one. We actually got an amazing athlete on the show tonight. Over the years of talking with Coach Orlando, have had him on once or twice. He's a big, strong man, big athletic guy in sports in general. Come to find out, he actually knew one of our absolute heroes, Travis Ortmayer, just an amazing athlete, strongman, teaches, trains, competes at the top of his game, and he's just a great motivational person and just a great overall all-around human. So, guys, I don't want to waste any time on this one because he's a busy man. It's my absolute privilege to bring on Travis. Travis, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. It's nice to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Travis, I know you're always busy. You just got back from a competition. Hoping you're doing okay, getting some time to recover. You glad to be back local after that competition?
Yeah, I mean, the last competition was a little rough, man. Dealing with a little hip injury at the moment, and I probably shouldn't have gone to it if I'm totally honest. But you know what? I'm not one to shy away from a competition. I'm not one to shy away from a fight. So I'll give it everything I've got every time. It just probably would have been, I don't know, smarter on my wallet to have not wasted the time.
Man. Well, I was watching some of the results you're posting and whatnot, man. So I all you strong man, that type of caliber person that you are, we knew you'd go even if you're injured, man. So I'm glad you made it back safely. Over the years, we've got some questions, Travis, that we ask our guests, and whether it's a strong man like yourself or a basketball player or a guitarist, there's questions we ask that we think our audience just likes to hear about. So I'm going to kick it off. Obviously looking at a strong man and being an elite competitor, elite physical shape, just an athlete. Take me back, man. When did you fall in love with the sport? How old were you, and when did that begin?
Oh man. So to start my weightlifting journey, I started lifting weights at 11 years old. And at that time, all I knew was bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger and then the bodybuilders, big guys in the magazines. It was 9 years in that I had a friend that I was training with. He was actually more on the powerlifting side of things, but he decided he wanted to do Texas Strongest Man. And I remember looking at him and saying, "What are you, crazy? You mean like those guys?" He will never be that strong. But nevertheless, he signed up. And because I was his training partner, I was going to go up and I was going to help him. This was in a little town, 6 hours north of Houston, right on the Texas-Oklahoma border. It was August 2nd, 2002. It was hotter than hell. But the whole way there, I remember my friend, this is kind of funny because he kept saying, "Man, I just don't want to finish last. I don't want to finish last. Whatever happens, I just don't want to finish last." And so we get there the night before. He's signing in. The promoter looks at me and says, "You're here. Why don't you sign up?" I was like, "You know what? You're right, man. What the hell? I'll give it a shot." And that's when my friend looked up at me and goes, "All right, man. I'm glad you signed up because at least now I know I won't take last."
I love it, man. Did you beat him in that competition? Or?
That moment changed my life, man. I didn't know I had a competitive streak in my body, and I beat him for the next 10 years after that.
I love it, man.
Marshall White, he actually ended up making it to World's Strongest Man in 2009. He was in Group 2. So,
wow.
Two Texas boys from, a little town outside of Houston, we did all right for ourselves.
Yeah.
But I ended up 5th in that competition, but it changed something inside of me. I had so much fun. I had more fun at that competition than I had ever had doing anything my entire life previously. It was 105 degrees on blacktop. It was humid. It was an awful, horrible, painfully hot day, but it was the greatest day of my whole life at that point. There was just something about it, man. I remember dreaming about it for the next 6 months afterward. Every single night, I'd wake up feeling the farmer's walk handles in my hands, smelling the tacky, feeling the stones in my arms. It changed me. I was going to school at that point for biotechnology. I was actually really good in college. I was a B student in high school. I never gave it much thought. But when I decided to focus, I was really good at school and college. And, I had academic awards. I had honors credit. And then I got strongman. And this plan I had for my life took a sharp turn and went a completely different direction. But I never looked.
I'm glad it did, man. I tell you what, because again, when we had the chance to, know that there's that connection that we can make it happen. I'm glad that life took that turn. I'm glad your buddy kind of dared you into it. Thank God he did, man. So when you think about, you've done a lot of events, man. You've done a lot of things, and all of you. Every time I watch any of you, what you do, it just seems unworldly. It just seems godlike. But you have these events that you do. Memory, biggest memories and all that, whether it's a personal record or whatnot. Is there an event that you could say in your career so far that's my favorite event so far that you've done?
I think my favorite event was always Atlas Stones. I was always really good at it. And there's just something about, lifting a sphere with no handle, it's just you and the stone, and it's tearing the flesh off your forearms. It's, and I was really good at it. It helped that I was really good at it. So that was probably my favorite event.
I love it. I've watched the way people train, because we watch probably, and I do it all the time. And even though different workout routine, I do a lot more just the cardio, but it's motivational to watch you guys, right? And just that alpha, just no one's going to tell me no. No one's going to tell me I can't defy nature. And I thought that would be your event, but I wanted to ask you. That's really cool. Obviously, influences, man. You talked about watching Arnold growing up and different people. Maybe from a trainer standpoint, someone you've trained or worked with, has there been at this point in your career a go-to influence on you that you still stand by?
Oh man, so many. I've had some great mentors. I've had some great clients that inspire me. I've had, my first mentor was a guy named Jim Glassman. He trained over at Westside Barbell for a couple of years. So he had that mentality, and he brought that to what we later called the unit, it was a storage unit that had all the strongman equipment in it. It wasn't a fancy name. It was just the unit because, Anyway, my first mentor. Then I had a couple other, really smart people, but one of which was Nathan Payton. He's the nutritionist for a lot of the top guys in World's Strongest Man, and a lot of football players in the NFL as well. He taught me a lot about nutrition. Then a guy named John Anderson taught me, even more about training, about life, about business. And I've got a couple decent coaches right now. One's name is Alex Keuchel. And after a year and a half of chronic pain from my leg infection at the end of 2021, in 4 weeks, we knocked it out. So it's amazing. He's a really smart guy.
Wow.
The other one is Shane German. He's my coach, my strongman coach. And he's a really sharp guy as well. I've learned a lot from him.
Wow. So you pull from all those influences, and it's obviously you bring your spin to it as well, the personality. I've always thought the nutrition side, and people that don't watch strongman or see it from the back end, it's a full-time job, nutrition with you. Like, that's a full-time job, man, So what are you at on an off season? What do you run each day in calories on an off season day?
I don't really count the calories all that much. If I had to guess, 5,000 and 6,000, depending on the day.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Or if I get a good cheat meal, like I had a sushi meal yesterday, it was probably 4,000 calories itself.
Man, I love it, man. But it's like people don't realize that it's your body, like it's your job. It's your job to put fuel in, right? So it's so fascinating to me. Like I was watching a thing one time with Shaw. He's like, 10,000 calorie day, just no problems ad hoc in it. So you guys literally, it's a job. When you think about the next year, obviously you just got back from competition. You kind of always training, really. What's the next 12 months for competitions, you as your brand? What's the next year looking like for you, for Travis?
So currently I've had a really tough couple of years. I mentioned I had a leg infection. We don't know how I got the leg infection. I was in Turkey competing when it happened. I was actually on the plane home when I felt it. And that wiped me out pretty good, man. It just beat me up, hormonally speaking. I had this horrible chronic pain. I had this, I lost my strength. Like everything just was taken from me. So I've been fighting back from that, trying to get healthy, just to where I could do a body weight squat without my legs shaking from the pain. I'm finally there, but now I'm dealing with this damn hip issue. I got some, I guess, bone spurs, and some of the cartilage is gone.
Man.
And Now I'm dealing with that. Now I feel good and I want to push. I can't because my left leg drops off. So
I got you.
21 years in strongman. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I thought I would have had a little bit more. And, honestly, I'm doing everything that I can right now. This is why I have all these coaches. I spend $1,300 a month on coaching. I'm trying to get it healed. I'm doing everything that I can, every way that I can think about, because the rest of me, I feel really good, and I want to compete. I want to keep pushing. So I'm just going to have to do this like I've done everything else in my life, and just through sheer force of will, make my leg get better. I've had career-ending injuries multiple times. Nothing has ever stopped. So
still standing. Yeah. You're still standing, man. Yeah. And that's like, I'm telling you, I've watched that thousands of hours, I feel like, of what you guys do. And it's something I honestly don't even attempt to do what you guys do, but I keep going back to this motivational thing. There's nothing harder than what you do. And if you're at the top of that, like, there's nothing you can't do. Like, you could probably do anything that you set your mind to, and you prove that, right? So I love that, man. It gives me goosebumps every time I talk about just watching what you do. There's a little segment we're gonna make you laugh. So Dane and I usually, if he's not covering an event or the staff, we'll bet on this. It's a little segment called Rapid Fire. Okay. Now, hopefully, interviews you've done, we try to really, like, our fans are great. I love our fans. We keep it PG, but they give us weird stuff, man. They pull from the internet, give us weird, random rapid fire questions to run past you, and we piece them together. And I think you're going to get a kick out of this. Okay. So,
all right, let's do it, man.
You got to pick one. You got to go with what you feel. So you are, and nothing's off the table. Reality is twisted. This can happen. So you are called up. You're called to show up at an event. Nobody tells you what it is. Hey, just get on the plane. We're sponsoring you. You get there. Live Giant says, come on up. We're going to do this. You walk in, and you're required to do a celebrity thumb war event. And your two competitors you have to choose from are either Bane from Batman or the Macho Man Randy Savage. You got to do a thumb war tournament on live TV with one of these guys.
Macho Man, 100%.
Macho Man, I got you. I picked that one. Okay.
That's a question. Just to listen to him get psyched up.
I got you. I got you. I had him, man. Again, I love the questions. Next one. So you get back home and all of that, and a lot of the celebrity and surprise events for this series of questions. So you get home and you're called up. So the two people show up at your event. They're watching you. Two celebrities you didn't know were coming. So you have on one side, you've got Vin Diesel on one side. The other side is Mark Wahlberg. You are required to just freestyle, drop the weights, and do a battle rap against one of these two. Are you battle rapping Vin Diesel or battle rapping Mark Wahlberg? Who are you going?
I think Mark Wahlberg has enough of a history in music. He wouldn't be the right one to choose. I'd have to go against Vin Diesel.
Okay. 2 for 2 right now, man. I'd be beating Dana because I sent him my picks. He's like, so he put Wahlberg. So, okay, I'm ahead. So next one, you're taking a couple months off from training, and somebody asks you to fill. They're going to do a movie role, so you're called up. A lot of strongmen get to do parts in movies and things like that. It's natural, the physique and all that. And the two scripts are laid on your desk. You get to determine which of these two that you want to be a part of based off of your physique. They're making a full feature film of Game of Thrones, so you can be the Mountain on one, taking Thor's place, or you can be Juggernaut for the upcoming X-Men movie. The Mountain or Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, hands down.
3 for 3, man. I love it. Okay, you're doing good. Okay, got you. Yeah, 3 for 3. You're doing. I love it. So the next one. So you're required, fellow strongmen. You've got two strongmen. You've got Robert Oberst, Brian Shaw, people that in your sphere and all that. So this is the deal. You have to show up for a day, follow behind them, and be their personal assistant. Like if they say, get me a soda, get me a drink, you're required, you lost a bet. So you got to follow along behind one of these two guys all day long and do whatever they ask you to do. Give me push-ups, whatever. Who are you going to be a personal assistant to, Shaw or Oberst?
Shaw, without question.
I got it, man.
Businessman. He's a smart guy. I've already thought about shadowing him just to see how he runs his business and puts it with the diet and the training, just to see how he does it. I would absolutely follow Shaw.
Love it. I love it. They're both cool. Again, these are all just fun questions, but I watch them on a lot of episodes they do together, kind of picking at each other, the personalities and all that. I had you for Shaw too. Last one, man. So you are given the ability to make celebrity Alexa voice, Alexa, when you come in your house, right? And your two choices for your celebrity Alexa, are you going with two very distinct voices. Are we going with Sylvester Stallone or Lil Jon as your celebrity Alexa voice?
You'd have to be Stallone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually petitioned to get Little John. I just funny because I actually tried to get Little John. Can you imagine? Alexa, turn on the lights. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of funny. But yeah, I had you for Stallone.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Alexa, what's the temperature? 25. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of spitting out the Little John voice. But no, I had you on those picks, man. This little segment we do. Hopefully most episodes or interviews you do, you don't hear that. It's rapid fire. So we'll circle back to a segment to kind of close it down and give you some time. What you do, whether it's a strongman like yourself, just top deck athlete, whether it's musicians or basketballers or softball players, we always want to take a moment and do something that's called open mic. And what that really is your drive. All of you, whatever sport you do, there's always the drive about you. When you said that you just picked up the weights that first day and knew something changed in you, what is your mantra? Like your get up and go, this is what makes you tick. What could you tell others that want to be you one day as a mantra?
Oh, man. Okay, how to boil this down. So what I'm all about is doing the impossible. You know, take what you thought you'd never be able to do, and then just going hard enough that it comes to fruition. Because, you know, I've been to the top of the sport. I've been to Worlds. I was in 5th place at World Strongest 3 years in a row. I was 3rd at the Arnold. I was one of the top 5 strongmen on the planet for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And then I fell into an abyss of darkness and I lost myself. So, you know, it was just a perfect storm of everything that could go wrong. It was, you know, addiction, losing myself because I hated training at the time. And so, you know, anytime an athlete retires or steps back from the sport that they've been pursuing their entire life, there's always this gaping hole in their life. And when you look in the mirror, you don't know who it is that's looking back at you because you're lost in a sense. So I lost myself. And then I lost everything else. I mean, friends, family, my career, my passion for life, my joy, everything, all of my savings. I even lost my house. I got kicked out and was living in a storage unit for a while. Then I just had this tiny, far away voice that was telling me I was going to lose it all and I was going to get it back. I was going to get it back. I could do it. I knew that I could do it. And then I used that little voice. It got louder and louder, but I fought my way all the way back to World's Strongest Man and then beyond. And that was hard to do. And I had to keep the faith, purpose in my mind. And I think what it is you boil it down to what is your purpose? And my purpose in this life is to show others that it can be done. You know, no matter how hard life kicks you to the ground, kicks you while you're down there, no matter how many times it happens, how many people do it, you stand back up and you go after what you want with everything that you've got. Put your heart into it 100%. And I found my purpose, and that brought me back. That brought me back from the brink.
Man, I'm sitting here because I write notes down whenever we do it because we always kind of hashtag it, and I hear what's your purpose. I hear that little voice, and it's amazing to me, man, that getting a chance, because we'll never ask any questions an athlete doesn't want to talk about, but knowing that you've been through real life at the top of the sport and that mountain to mountain, right? The valley that you went through to now come back, a beautiful home, just from what we can just see it, just a little bit of it, beautiful home. You're well known, just well known, top of the sport. Like you said, world famous. We knew about you for a very long time. It's actually comforting to know that someone as elite as you is real too. It's real life. You didn't just have this handed to you. You didn't just walk up and get a $10 million contract and just, hey, you had to work for it and sweat for it. And look at you now, man. That's the kind of stories that the audience loves to hear is how do I do it? And it's day by day, like you're saying, man. So goosebumps.
Day by day, it's keeping that underlying theme. So knowing your purpose, having that locked in the back of your brain all the time. And then everything, that's your foundation. Everything is built off of that. So when you have a bad day, it doesn't matter. You go back to your purpose. You have your foundation, and you start again the next day, and you keep layering and layering. And then, if you forget where you were going, if you forget that what your purpose was, and you get distracted for a few months. Some people get distracted by a new girlfriend. Some people get distracted by a new job. As long as you keep coming back to it, you will always be happy in life. That the happiness is not something that it's not an end goal. I want to be happy. No. I am happy because I'm what I'm supposed to be doing. That's the purpose of life. That's the meaning of life, is to find your purpose and pursue it and bring whatever that is to the world around you, to the people around you. For me, showing people that is the secret. Like I'm the one who's got the key to the secret to happiness. Like here's the answer. Now you got to figure out what your specific answer is. This is the key. Now figure out your purpose.
I like what you said about not chasing happiness. I am happy. People get that wrong. If I get this big of a house, if I hit this weight, if I hit this mile, if I hit this PR, no, you're happy right now. And like, look at you. You've been happy the whole time, even in the valleys. Like you said, it kept calling you back. I'm doing what I love. Therefore, the results of doing what you love, whether it be strongman or softball or basketball or playing guitar or being a lawyer, you're doing what you love, and you reap the benefits, man. Wow.
So the only time I wasn't doing what I loved, or at least following it some way, shape, and form, was when I went through the darkness. That's what led to the darkness, because I strayed from the path and I lost myself. I lost my family. And, it took a long time. It took several years of going through that hell. When they say, if you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where I was. I kept going. And then I remember the moment, man. It was the turning point for me at the very bottom. When I was going to end everything. I was done. I was so much pain, so much heartache. I was ready to throw in the towel. And I remember in that moment kind of breaking down and feeling, or asking myself, like, but when is this going to end? I have to find something good to hold on to, because everything in my life at that point was bad. It was negative, and everything I saw, I interpreted it through this negative lens. And I noticed, and thankfully, I noticed that the more negative thoughts that I had, the more negative I got. And I thought, well, if that's the pattern, maybe I can reverse that. Maybe I don't have to stay in this hell, because instead of thinking negative thoughts, maybe I can try something different and find my way out of here. And the moment that I did, I remember I was, head in my hands, giving up. And I thought, I got to find something. And I looked down at my feet, and I saw my toes wiggle, and I saw my feet at that point. They were kind of chewed up because I'd been injecting methamphetamine for a while. But they worked. And I thought, there we go. I've got my own 2 feet. That's something to be grateful for, because I don't have to stay in this hellhole. I was in my house at the time. It was a damn tweaker house. It's not a pretty place. And I thought to myself, I can get the hell up and I can get out of here. I don't have to be stuck. And for the first time in years, I felt this surge of joy kind of come up from the pit of my stomach to the back of my throat. And that pinprick of joy was a pinprick of hope for the first time in years. And I realized it was possible. And I stayed very true to it every day. I tried to find one more thing to be grateful for. The trick was learning gratitude. I was grateful for my feet. The next day, I was grateful for my hands. I had to keep it simple because everything around me was trashed. I couldn't be grateful for my home. I couldn't be grateful for my friends. I didn't have any. I couldn't be grateful for family. I didn't have any. Nobody was talking to me. So I was grateful for my feet. Then I was grateful for my hands. The third day, I found a third thing. The fourth day, I found a fourth thing. But the fifth day, I did not find a new thing. So I went back through my previous 4. And now I had a gratitude list. That gave me my 5th thing. And that's when I realized the power of gratitude and making a list, because now instead of coming home and looking at this negative world around me and having this kind of negative checklist about all the things that I'd lost, anytime that came up, and it happened a lot, I would stop it in its tracks and I would make myself go through my gratitude list. I'd count them off every single time. And then I employed a couple of tricks. One was simple. I just put a rock in my pocket, just a little stone. Every time I reached into my pocket to grab my phone or my keys, I'd grab that rock, I would pull it out, and I would do my gratitude list, 10, 12 times a day, gratitude. And then it started to build momentum. So I had all this negative momentum against me. And I started to slow that momentum down. And after, 6 or 7 months, I started to reverse that momentum. Things started to change. And I knew when they started to change, because this is making people uncomfortable. This is powerful, man. Because, misery loves company. And if you start shaking the foundation, people don't like that. But so I continued on with that, man. And a couple of years later, I was back in the gym, building momentum, getting stronger. And every one of my thoughts was focused on getting back to world's strongest. It was, and it happened. I kept that mindset.
Yeah, man. I'm right. I'm telling you, there's a couple of interviews, Travis, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of these, right? Like I told you, for musicians, interviewed rock stars, and we've been blessed, right? It's worldwide. But there's yours and there's another one. I will tell you right now, it'll be an open invitation to come back anytime. You and there's another gentleman we work with from a band called Disciple. It's a rock band. He told us a story. I got to share this with you about a guy who listened to one of their songs and was going to end it all, had one bullet in his gun. He decided, he heard this song. It was just, I think it was meant to be, right? Heard the song, took it out, took that bullet to the show when he saw them, made a necklace, said, hey, this is what I was going to use before I heard you tell me I'm not alone, right? So what you're talking about, made a necklace, and you think, okay, that's weird. No, that's fantastic, right? And your story about the gratitude list, thinking about the 4 things. We got feet, and heaven forbid, maybe if you don't, you got a heart, you got a mind, right? Whatever you've got, taking a look around at what you've got, man. So no wonder people love you and flock to you, because you literally built yourself from the ground up, and we're glad to see the success of what you have. No wonder people want to train with you, man. That's amazing. Wow. So I could go on for days about that, Travis. I'll tell you what, the world, I didn't know that about you. And like I said, I appreciate you being willing to share that. We never get more personal when an athlete or guest wants to share. It will help people, though, to know that you can literally pick yourself up from the ground up and go through real life struggles. A lot of times we'll see these people like yourself, or even like the Eddie Halls at the top of their game, and like, man, they just living the dream, to know that you have real life behind you, Travis. That gives those people that maybe they're struggling with addiction too. Maybe it's different. Maybe they're too much. Maybe they're an alcoholic, or maybe they're addicted to something else, right? They could be smoking cigarettes, whatever it may be, and they want to quit that habit. You did that, and then now you're back at World's Strongest, man. Even if it's an injury, just to say you did it, man. So wow.
Well, one of the things that I've learned since telling people where I've been, where I've come from, people come out of the woodwork and talk to me. I've talked to so many people, probably thousands of people, who have been down and out, I guess, or they're on their way down and out, and then they come to me, and it's awesome. I get to help in a way, and that's fun. But it always shocks me how many people come out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
I'd say 1 in 3 people is having a real hard time with life, at least.
Especially after post-COVID, man. I mean, the world right now needs positivity. And what's one thing we try to do, and I can see it flowing out of you. Let's find something good to talk about. Even I go back to when you said, even thinking about having thumbs, man. It's something good to talk about. It's something good in the world, no matter how small it is, and it snowballs. And I think it's a mental thing. Whether people have a biblical mindset or not, it's biblical to have a good mindset. You practice what you preach, you prophesy, or not. Maybe you're just looking at the physical, believing that it can happen, and speaking into existence. Wow, man. Well, Travis, I'll tell you this, man. Please let it be known, Dane and I, open invitation. We hope this will be the first of many. Please consider coming on again in the future. We'd love to kind of track down maybe one of your competitions or training. We'd even love to celebrate some of your workout videos, tutorials. We'll throw them on our page. We want to make sure we celebrate what you're doing. And again, once Orlando told me, thank you, Orlando, for making this happen. I didn't know you guys were friends. I would have asked you 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's hard to get in those connections. So thank you for being willing to do this. It's a
Yeah,
real
man.
honor. Travis, it'll be something we'll take our time with. We'll get this out for the world. Like I said, we've been blessed. It's from basically the States to Brazil to Finland to Sweden. It's a worldwide platform that we have. People listen. So I can't wait to take another platform and share your great message, because it's a great one, man. So
I appreciate it, man. It's been fun. I appreciate you having me on.
of course, we'll make it a point to be in touch very soon. I'll stay in touch with you. We'll please open invitation, come back on again soon. Good luck with the training and the healing, man. And I can't wait to share this message with the world. Okay. So,
Yeah, man, absolutely. And if anybody needs to find me, just my name on Instagram. Easy to
I'll,
find.
I'll tag it when we get the episode out. It'll be tagged. So it'll be another way. We'll make sure we share it with you as well.
Right.
You're easy to find. Trust me. We know who you are. So we'll be in touch, brother. You take care. Now you have a great rest of your month. Okay. Here's,
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you, brother. So, guys, we'll let Travis get back to his night and drop off. I'm telling you, even cooler than the legend. Sometimes when you meet your heroes, you're like, wow. And just the story, talking about going from world's strongest man, addictions, lows in life, to coming back to the top. And even now, you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a musician? You tell yourself no. Don't let anybody else tell you that. So, oh gosh, I got goosebumps. That's going to go down as one of the best, man. So I am so thankful to get to do that with Travis. What a great guy. No wonder people like him in Orlando, just great human beings. No wonder people flock to him so much. So Travis, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for giving us a top 3 episode. Dane's going to really be jealous he missed this one. So you guys, we got a lot more content in the month ahead. I don't even have time to talk about it because I'm just so blown away. So again, let it sink in. You can do what you want to do. Attitude of gratitude, the gratitude list. I want to take that with me and remember that. So Travis, thank you for going above and beyond on this one, man. I appreciate you. So on behalf of the Dane and Josh show, as always, don't forget that we love you and thank you for listening.